How's it going, guys? I just wanted to show you my first macro that I've ever made. I had a lot of fun with this one, messed around with it a bunch, and I just kind of wanted to run you through the features and then let you guys go and play with it. So it's just up on my Ko-fi page, so you can just click get this. You'll have to log in or whatever, put 0 in, per usual. Pay, hooray! Download. Once you get it downloaded and you get it extracted, you'll get two things. You'll get just the macro that I made, but you can also do the full file. Now, just a couple things I want to go over. This also has everything in it that the macro does. I also include this manual thing, which I couldn't get working quite right, so you can always just, disconnect those. I tried to make it so you could, select 4 different colors and kind of do your own thing. I'm already thinking of maybe some better ways to redo this color burst, but maybe someone in the Davinci Resolve community knows a little bit more than I do that knows how to solve that problem. Every time I solved one problem, just another one crept up. So once you get it in, it's pretty easy. Just bring your media over, plug that in. You can plug in, so you can bring in text, you can bring in a little icon, however you kind of want to work it. So let's do some text. Now there's all sorts of settings on here. Text is a little small, that's okay, because we can increase the size, the angle. We have this little feature that lets you turn it on and off. Kind of do a little neon. There's so many features I packed into this thing. It's a little worrisome. The way this rigged up, you do have to just set your starting color via the slider. This won't actually do anything except the strength, just because of the way I had to run the expressions. And you can send yourself into a shock. It does this nice little burst right off the bat. Look at that. Look at that. Look how good that looks. You can do a few other things. You can offset this. Look at that. Kind of adjust the pivot to where this is going. And there's more down here. This has to do with kind of how scattered the copies of it go, whereas this one kind of gives it a direction, all sorts of modes. This one was kind of cool. You can do hard light, which was kind of a cool one. I left random seed and seed in there. I don't actually know what those do, I'll be honest. You can change the colors. So you can go all over the place with this thing. Wow! Go mad. The one thing I don't like is toward the end, for whatever reason, I think it's built into this, the duplicate, is it does it all at the start, and then it gets really, really slow and just keeps stretching, and then just ends abruptly for some reason. You can obviously get around that just by cutting your clip short or whatever. It will stretch to whatever, it'll change to whatever length you have, so you can stretch this way out. That's text. Let's look at an image, and you can do it with an image too. The other thing, you can go through here, you got this neon setting. There's also, okay, sorry, I will make sure that this setting gets into the final build. I was missing that setting for a second ago. There's this icon color on, off, so you can have the original color of your icon, just have colors coming out the back of it, or you can have it affected by the colors. All right, so you got this nice little particle effect you can do. I'm fixing these as I'm going through because I'm realizing I missed a few options when I didn't put this together, so by the time you're watching this, it'll be fixed. I thought this one was kind of cool. Nice little Skittles effect. Okay, I just want to go over the construction of the tool just for a minute. It's just the input, basically just a background there. It's transparent, just keeps the size. Same thing with at the end. We have our move, rotate. It's just a transform node for size, aspect, all those good things. Here's a custom tool where I used in some of the equations. That's the slider for the auto tint. I don't have this burst speed in the final macro, just because it didn't do that all that much. It's still there in the old one though, if you can mess around with it if you want. This is our main color corrector. This was just the hookup to turn this manual mode on and off. Like I said, there's just too many glitches. I spent about twice as much time trying to get this thing work the way I wanted to as it did building the rest of this, so I kind of just gave up on it. I may come back to it later. This is where the main stuff happens. So we have number of copies, a time offset for him, all the pivot stuff, though this stuff looks like it was off. You may have to just reset that to 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. The long expression, basically it's increasing over time. I'll just watch the slider and you can see it rapidly increasing the size of the duplicates as time goes on. That gives it the burst effect. Edge detect, which is the kind of the neon look. The edge mask overlay is just relabeled as the neon on off. And an output. Pretty simple, but it makes for some cool effects, blending it all in. One thing I forgot to show you is if you just want to have image of some sort, say you don't want it to affect that, you just kind of want this to remain where it is. You don't want color to affect that. You can just click, you know, the icon color on off. But if you want to have some different shapes, let's say heart shape or something, let's just do a background. I'll drop in this rectangle. Let's change this rectangle. Let's get this rectangle. We want it to be times 1920 divided by 1080. That's wrong. 1080 divided by 1920. There we go. Now we got a square. And then we want to rotate it 45 of ellipse nodes. Let's make that smaller. There's Control C, Control V, duplicate that, pipe it in there. Oh, one thing to change on these is make sure they're set to add and not just merge. All right, so we got a heart shape and we don't want this color burst to interfere with anything. So we'll plug our shape into that and we'll just do as you normally would, merge that over top. All right, here's the thing that I forgot to mention that always messes me up. So the reason this doesn't work is because this color black doesn't take color very well, neither does white. You have to change it to something gray and voila. There's the problem. So if you're running into that problem, it's probably because you have it set to black or white, and so it can't really do any colors, and it's going so slow. And throw some neat shapes behind it. So there you go, have fun, be creative, and I'm sure you'll figure out something to do with this thing.